Please welcome Jaque Koroi from Fiji on behalf of the MA in International Peace Studies.
Excitement, in moments like this. The Honorable Chief Guest, the Rector, Vice Rector, family, friends, my fellow peers. In Fiji, we have a saying, "Kune kundia na ilokan indilo." It is to describe when rare opportunities come your way. And this phrase means to find an egg of this particular bird. And it's hard to find this egg because the bird laid the egg in Alaska before flying over to Fiji to stay. So when you find this egg, it's a rare moment. And this rare moment presented itself to 20 students of the International Peace Studies program. Anna Isabel, Alistair, Andreas, Elsa, Enos, George, Gerardo, Jasmine, Jabli, June, Kashia, Lisa, Eves, Ori, Pam, Saki, Satish, Tina, and I. For some unknown reason, we earned the name hippie in our first weeks on campus, and it just stuck with us. But let me clarify, this is not the hippie that was holding hands singing "We Are the World" all day long. This is the set of hippies that got down to business because we were serious about pursuing peace in the 21st century. The IPS Hippies chapter started with a battle of egos, rigid opinions, suspicions, judgments among strangers. But in time, we weaved into our chapter compassion, understanding, diversity, laughter, honesty, and it became hushed debates and dancing amongst friends. When one of us missed class, we called. When one of us was ill, we visited and sent well wishes. When we lacked knowledge, we learned. When one of us struggled, we listened. When one of us was in trouble, we helped. And just recently, at an outing in San Jose by a bunch of us hippies, one of us, after eating, wanted to stop and do some shopping. But the rest of us refused to leave her on her own. And for me, this was a defining moment because it spoke of volumes of this bond that we had developed in our class to safeguard each other's well-being. It's another way of us saying, "I got your back." Our program challenged us to explore the world of thinkers at the margins of mainstream academia. We stepped into the minds of Marshall Rosenberg, John Paul Lederach, Virginia Satir, Dennis Meadows, Augusta Bolt, to name a few. We enlightened our discussions with our own realities from Africa to Latin America to North America to the Middle East and Asia and the Pacific. And there were also days that we had the privilege of Honorable Ruth Dreyfus to share experiences with us, and we got to listen to a budding presidential candidate for the next Costa Rican election. For these experiences, we thank the guidance of our department head, Victoria Fontan, her assistant, Professor Balaj Kovacs, and our dedicated logistics coordinator, Shirley Mata. Our IPS chapter concluded with some key findings. It always starts with us. One of our causes challenged us to be very aware of ourselves, our strengths, our weaknesses, our bias, our principles, our values. We can theorize peace, but we must feel peace. And I encourage us to rise to the challenge of being living evidence of peace in our own interpretations. We also challenged ourselves to think outside the box and move away from forming opinions on black and white lines only. We would like to explore the middle ground where it's often overlooked but yields itself creativity and unconventional means, something needed in this day and age. And another insight is that regardless what situation and what circumstance, we don't give up or underutilize our birthright to be human beings with extraordinary lives. We encourage ourselves to minimize on excuses and always be creative and solution-based. To my IPS hippies, we have gracefully persevered through the face-to-face of our MA program, and we've emerged as champions. And I leave you with a quote from Richard Bach. "Don't be dismayed at goodbyes. A farewell is necessary before we can all meet again. And meeting again after moments or lifetimes is certain for those who are friends. Are we not friends?" And so finally, on behalf of IPS, we'd like to thank the faculty and the staff, the head of the operations team, the security guards, and our family and our friends who have been the most strongest pillars of support and our biggest cheerleaders. Binakavaka level.